Okay, so today we're going to take a deep dive into this piece called The Last Goodbye.
Okay.
And it's this really interesting look at how friendships change over time.
Yeah.
And it focuses on these two friends, Ahil and Ryan, and how their relationship changes when Ahil decides to move away from their hometown.
Right. And I think what makes this piece so powerful is how it captures all those unspoken emotions.
Right.
Like the sadness and maybe even like a little bit of resentment that can sometimes come up when friends drift apart.
Yeah, definitely. And, right away you get the sense of how close Ahil and Ryan were, growing up on the same street. They did everything together, like school lunches, bike races, all that.
Yeah, they were basically inseparable. Like they thought their friendship would last forever.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes their eventual separation so interesting to look at, because you have Ayo with this huge desire to like explore the world, right?
Yeah.
He's got this dream of going to university abroad. And then you have Ryan, who's more content staying in their hometown.
Yeah, he finds comfort in the familiar, and that really comes through when Ahill gets his acceptance letter.
Right.
And Ryan just asks him this really loaded question. He's just like, "Are you really going?"
Yeah,
And there's this like uneasy silence afterward.
totally. Like you can feel the tension.
Exactly.
It's like Ryan's whole world is shifting.
Yeah, for Ryan, it's like this realization that their future together, the one he'd always imagined.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
And from there, you see their connections start to fray.
Yeah.
Like their conversations get shorter.
Right.
There's less laughter. It's almost like they're slowly drifting apart.
Yeah, and it's not this big dramatic breakup or anything. It's more subtle.
Exactly. It's these small, almost unnoticeable changes that just build up over time.
Yeah, and then they have this one final meeting at their childhood spot, this bench under the banyan tree, and Ryan asks, "Do you even remember this place?"
Ooh, that's a heavy question.
It is, and I think for Ryan, it's about more than just memory. It's like he needs that reassurance that their past still matters
Right.
to Ahil, even as he's moving on to this new chapter.
And Ahil tries to reassure him. He says, "Of course I will. This is home."
Yeah, but Ryan immediately counters with, "Maybe not, but it won't be the same."
Right, like he knows things will never be the same.
Exactly.
And what's interesting is Ahil doesn't argue with him at all.
Right.
It's like he accepts this new reality,
It's a quiet acceptance of their diverging paths.
and then they say goodbye.
Not a big dramatic goodbye.
Right. Just this quiet understanding that their lives are moving in different directions.
And they do try to stay in touch at first.
Yeah, but like we see so often, life just gets in the way.
Yeah, time distance, new experiences, it all adds up.
But then there's this one last message that Ryan sends, and it really struck me. He says, "Take care, Ahil. Wherever you go, I hope you find what you're looking for."
It's such a selfless message.
It is.
Even though they're drifting apart, he genuinely wants Ahil to be happy.
Totally. And later we see Ahil in this foreign cafe reading through their old messages.
Yeah.
And all he replies is, "I miss home." It's simple, but so powerful.
It really is. And I think it speaks to how some friendships, they just have this lasting impact on us,
Absolutely.
even if we don't stay in constant contact.
Right. It's like that shared history, those emotional bonds, they never truly disappear.
And sometimes home isn't about a place.
Right.
It's about the people we shared those memories with.
And so I guess the big takeaway here is that friendships, even those we consider unbreakable,
Right.
they're constantly evolving.
They are.
And they're shaped by the changes that life throws our way.
Exactly. And sometimes the most meaningful parts of those friendships,
Yeah.
they're the ones that go unspoken.
And it makes me think about all those friendships in our lives that have changed over time. Maybe distance has grown or priorities have shifted.
Right.
But even with those changes, what are those unspoken understandings or feelings that still connect you to those people?
That's a great question.
Mhm.
I think it's worth reflecting on those connections because often they're much deeper than we realize.
Heck,
They
yeah.
shape who we are.
Definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap it up for today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into The Last Goodbye.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a great conversation.
And to all of you listening out there, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into something thought-provoking and intriguing.
See you then.
Bye.